It's not easy abroad. Come to the abroad, they say. Life will be beautiful, they say. It's beautiful abroad, they say. Yes, it's true. But nobody wants you for all these things. And if I don't tell you my own experience, who will? Who will? That is why I'm sharing everything. The sweet, the bitter, the ugly. We lick all the hand together. Life abroad is not funny. With children. Children. You see those children, those tiny, tiny creatures you create. I'm struggling. I have to confess to you. Your baby girl is struggling. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's still your baby girl Gloria. If you're new to this channel, we do everything abroad. We share our experience firsthand, and you know what? We don't sugarcoat it. We say it as it is. Okay? If you don't like us, you move. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Gloria. Today we're going to be addressing the issue of children, life abroad, the struggle. It is a different culture entirely, so you cannot deny the fact that things are not the same. Things are not the same. Are you still wondering why Oyibo people, white foreigners, don't have too many children? No, I'm no more wondering. I know now. I know. You know, in Nigeria or back home, your child from the age of 1, 1.5, 2 years, they can start school. The school bus will come and pick them from your doorstep. They will go. Close of the day, you can tell your neighbor, Mama John, please bring my child from school when you're coming, please. Help me to pick my child. There's no problem. Or you just tell them, hey, Peter, John, Isaac, when you're coming from school, just come along with my child. No problem. Your children will come home safe and sound. You can even go to work, leave your child at home, give them food. You'll still come back and meet them. You will come back and meet them abroad, though, but you will be arrested before you come back. If God want to catch you, somebody will come home maybe for delivery or just like that, or your neighbor will report you that they think you're not at home and your child is alone. They will call the police for you. And before you get home, you are going to lose custody of your child because they will tell you you're endangering the life of your child. You need to sit down with your child 24/7 from morning to night. Somebody must be at home. I said that they're at home, they're in school. They must always be in the care of another person. Hell, imagine having those children. I have 3 children, 2 boys and 1 girl. I don't even know which one is better. Imagine those 3. Imagine having your children in the same room 24/7. Except when you're going to work, that is the only time you're free. If you're going to work, somebody must be there to take care of them, or they are at school. It's not just that. You need to take them to school. You need to go and bring them. If they are below some certain age, I don't know what age your child is. I still go to pick my child that is 6 years old. I still go to drop him off in school. The one who is 1 year cannot start school until they get to nursery age, and then before they now go to primary, and then you need to go and pick them, you need to go and drop them. You need to be at home 24 hours. If you are not at home, you must go anywhere you're going, you go with them. In fact, it is as bad as I was going to the shop some days ago, wanted to go and shop. I had to park all of them in the car. And I made them sit because in the shop, they're going to be everywhere, running about. I had to leave them in the car with my husband, but then you still need to go with them. You cannot just leave them and say, I'm coming 5 minutes. They will arrest you. They will collect your children from you. So you're stuck with them, no matter how crazy, no matter how nice they are. I know they're beautiful. I love my children to bits. But you don't want to deal with them 24 hours. You're stuck with them. It is easier having children in Nigeria. In Nigeria, you have house help that will help you to take the child, that will do this, that will do that. Here, if you want to have child support, or what do you call them, if you want to have nanny, you're going to pay with all your salary. It is not easy. It is not easy raising children abroad. That is why I think these people don't have too many children. You know, in Nigeria, it's no small harmattan, small rainfall. You say whether for true. You see somebody will have children like rabbits. 20 children, 15 children. Try it abroad. Your eye will hear when. People still do it. They still do it, but you will not just do it anyhow. I'm thinking if I had not had my children before I got to this country, my sister, maybe I would just have 1. I'm telling you, I love my children to bit. I love them the way they are. I'm happy I had them. I don't regret having any of them, but if I had known that this is how it would be, my sister, I would have zipped it. I would have zipped it. Hell, children, you are stuck with them. They are in your head, 24/7, shouting, screaming. In fact, it's a lot. It's so different. It's just so different having children abroad. Even though health is free, education is free, you don't need to pay for these things, it is still wise He said wisdom is profitable to I don't know the end. It is still wise for you to not have too many children if you are abroad, because the stress will kill you. You know how in Nigeria or in your country they will do something, you will look for cane and you will flog them. You cannot do it abroad. Except you're going to lock them in the toilet and do it, and if they catch you, all these things, you cannot discipline your child the way you want. So it is better if you have your child at home already, or you already have started having children, let them grow in the fear of the Lord, and to understand that even though you're not beating them, there are still other ways you need to make them understand that these things are not acceptable. If not, you will lose control of your child. You cannot just discipline them the way you want. It's as if it's the government that have the children for you. You'll be in trouble. So you need to be very careful the way you even caution them. You need to be wise the way you talk to them. I'm not going to put you off if you're bringing your child abroad. It is still worth it, but you will need additional wisdom, additional understanding, additional prayer, additional effort to be able to raise your children the way you want them to live in the fear of the Lord. Orientation abroad is different. Sexual orientation. People can be gay, can be lesbians, can be asexual, can be atheist. No religion at all. It is encouraged. It is encouraged. Unlike, at home, automatically you're either a Muslim or you're a Christian, and automatically you fear God. When you go to church, they preach to you. You know this is a sin. X. I cannot say it well because of culture, home training. But people here, they talk about it, even on the corridor. At work, you see a child of 15, 16, 17 talking about sex. Talking with the mother, discussing how they had it with somebody. And I'm like, even as grown as I am now, even though I'm married, you still have to be acting as if you don't do it. You have to be pretending as if, even though you have children, it's evidence that you do it. You cannot still come out boldly and say, Mommy, do you know I did? But abroad, the abroad children, they will say it, I was shocked to bits one day. My first year in the UK, it was winter. It was so cold. I covered myself. I didn't take the car, so I was using the buzzer there. I was at the bus station. I had my cardigan on, my jacket, my hot water bottle, my trouser, and I had my backpack, and I had my gloves, and I was shaking in the bus station. I saw some teenagers, 4 boys and 2 girls, ages maybe 11, 12, 13. And they were just roaming about on the streets. And know what they were wearing? I'm not even living in the city center. I'm living in the countryside, which there is more culture, they are more reserved, they are more laid back. So they don't do things the way you have it in, let's say, central London, England, where people are very exposed to, like, they just do whatever they want. I'm living in a place where it is a bit laid back, and those things are still a little bit, there's still a little bit of culture and respect. And these small children, night, I closed from work because I was on day shift. I closed from work by 8 p.m. By the time I got to that bus station, it was almost 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Small children, ages 12, 13. They were walking about. And what that girl was wearing, you could see her bum cheek. What do you call that? You know the bum, the downside of the girl bum. One of the girls was showing. Real life. I was like, I first look, I'm like, is she wearing pants or is it the color of her skin? I look. The nyash was showing like this. You could see it. The down bottom of the nyash was showing. I'm like, does this one have mother? Is she living with somebody? How is it possible? Even in my own imagination, I couldn't even understand how it's possible. But it is way of life. Bum short is not anything. Wearing skinny shirts, showing your stomach is not anything. Tattoo is not a big deal. Smoking is a normal thing. It is you who is not even smoking or who is not even drinking. They'll be like, I was telling my colleague, I said, do you know I've never been to a club in my life? Do you know I've never smoked in my life? And they're like, how is it even possible? Because it is the normal way of life here. So it becomes a lot of strain on how do you balance raising your children to understand that this is really, really bad and it is not allowed. And in the culture where they see their friends, they see their colleagues, they see their classmates, or they see their teacher, even your neighbor is doing it. How do you balance that equation to make them understand that you're from a different culture? So I don't waste any opportunity I have to let them know. I tell them, you need to teach them about culture, about race. Don't hide it from them, about racism. Let them understand that there are people who are white and there are people who are black, because it is really difficult for them in the class to see that their color is black, is different. Why am I black? Why is my hair like this? They begin to ask you questions. So you need to be prepared to teach them, to make them understand that for the fact that you're black or that your skin is black does not mean you're not human. You're beautiful the way you are. You know how at home we used to insult our children and call them big head, big mouth, long head. You need to learn to give them self-confidence when they are abroad, because they will go into depression. They will go into frustration because they may be the only one in the whole class. Like my boys' class, he is the only one who is with the skin color. Imagine how difficult it will be for that child. So you need to learn to teach them to believe in themselves, to love themselves, to respect themselves. Even though you're a black boy, you're so beautiful. Even though you're a black girl, you're pretty. You're the most beautiful girl in the world. Your skin is irreplaceable. Your skin cannot be bought anywhere. In fact, you need to reassure them. So it is really difficult balancing the strain of raising your child the African way and the Western way and make them, for instance, something as simple as looking into people's eyes is a big deal here. My first experience is my deputy manager in my former job. I went to report one of someone that was working with me. I went to report to her, and I was the one who came to report. I'm the nurse. The other person was the carer, and I'm like, this is what someone have done to me, and the issue, we're discussing it. And I called the girl in the office. We were all talking, and I became really emotional. I became really sad, angry. I'm very emotional, very, very emotional. I'm so tall because people think I'm that bossy thing, but when it comes to being emotional, I'm really, really emotional. I became really emotional and I started crying. That my former job, I cried. Oh, I cried every time I was crying. I cried and I was crying, and disrespect of the person who was talking to me. She's deputy manager. She's older than me. I started looking down and I was crying. And she said, Gloria, you can't even look up into my eyes to talk to me as if I don't exist. Do you know it is so disrespectful? Do you know it is so rude you're not looking at me? And I'm like, it is respectful. I'm trying to show you respect because where I'm from, I'm a Yoruba girl. I'm from Nigeria. We don't look into people's eyes. As I am now, even though my children are abroad with me, they dare not look into my eyes when I'm talking to them. Serious talk. It is a sign of respect to look away, but in the UK, it is a sign of disrespect for you not to look into the eyes of the person that's talking to you. You see the difference? So I'm like, this is the first time I'm hearing it. To me, I'm only trying to respect you, but to them, you're being insulting. So now, my children are going to have this issue of, if they're looking into my eyes, I'm like, why are you looking into my eyes? Why are you looking into my eyes? You shouldn't be looking into my eyes. But then they go to school and the teacher is asking them, why are you not looking into my eyes? You should be looking into my eyes because I'm talking to you. You see the strain, you see the difference, you see the cultural difference. So it is a lot of struggle being able to balance, teaching your child to know what is right and what is not right. Okay, just like giving somebody things with the left hand, now. You dare not give your mother or your father something with the left hand. But coming abroad is a normal thing. So sometimes my children still mix it up. They still want to give me something with left. I'm like, are you okay? You can't give me something with left hand. For now that you're in the UK, did they give it to you here? He said, no. Even if they give it to you here, are you white? He said, no. So you should know that we have culture. We have culture that we are preserving, and we are not white people. Even if we're in their midst, even though even one day we become citizens, you still have to preserve that respect. You cannot give me something with your left hand. I don't care what teacher tells you in school. You need to continue to teach them these things. Even though they cannot be 100% like what you may want, but there are still children that you can still raise to still be responsible. I struggle with balance all of this. You see, in Nigeria, your mother will proudly do something wrong to you and they will not apologize. But abroad, you need to learn to calm down, to apologize. If I do something to my son, especially the older one will be like, Mommy, that the language, or maybe I got angry and I'm trying to use maybe F word. Because I've told them they cannot use it, and they use it a lot here. Everybody use the F word here. They use it every time. People use it jokingly, and I've told them they cannot use it. But sometimes when I go mad, I go crazy at them, I can sometimes just use it unconsciously. And my son be like, Mommy, you're not allowed to say that. So you see, you're going to be having conflicts with what you can teach them, what you cannot teach them, what they can say, what they cannot say, things they can do. And it's a lot of struggle. It's a lot of struggle. You do your housework yourself. There's no house help. You take care of your children. You're the nanny. you really struggle. It's not easy. Traveling abroad is not easy. And I know some of you are like, you should teach your children how to speak the dialect. Myself and my husband, we don't speak the same dialect. We don't even understand each other's language. We generally speak English. But then you want to preserve the culture of making them understand that they're from Nigeria and this is their language. But it's really strange. Even if I'm speaking my language to my children and they'll be laughing like, what are you saying? I really want them to understand it, don't get me wrong, but because myself and my husband, we don't speak the same language now, the children are not able to speak the language. It is something also that is another challenge to me, that I'm trying to like teach them the language, teach them the culture, but it is still very difficult for all of us. Difficult for the children, difficult for me, difficult for my husband. Balancing African life and abroad life is really difficult. It is for both you and the children because there's a lot of difference. As a woman, how do you teach your girl child now that the child needs to cook, needs to clean, needs to do this, except he's not going to marry from Nigeria? Because I can't imagine my girl now growing up here now, having all this culture around them, and then going to Nigeria to go and marry a man who thinks she should cook, she should wash, she should clean, she should be a slave. How will she understand that? So we need to look for a balance. Now we're trying to look for a balance where to balance it for them, to make it easy for them and also easy for us, where we see we will not lose our culture, but then we will not stress them into believing the things we're brainwashed to believe. So I am really, really struggling raising the children, raising them to understand I'm a good girl and I want them to be good children, good girl, good husband, good wife, good citizen. It is really difficult. It is really, really difficult. Especially the aspect of smoking. You see people smoking around. And my son came up to me and said, Mommy, I saw someone smoking and they're going to die young. Imagine. Because that was what I believe and that's what I was taught. From childhood, that's what I taught them. And now, imagine they go to school now and tell their friend, you're going to die young. It's going to be like, whoa. So these are a lot of struggle. If you're a mother in this on my channel, you're watching this, tell me how you're coping abroad with teaching your children the values, the culture, and how are they coping? Especially if you have a child that is already grown and they're responsible children in the UK or abroad, anywhere in the world, please share your experience with me. Let me know how did you manage? How did you balance all the conflict? How are you still able to preserve your culture and still teach them the Western ways of life? I hope this is not going to put you off if you have children that are young and you're trying to bring them abroad. It shouldn't put you off, you'll be fine. But I just want us to share our ideas, share our experience as parents, how you're able to cope. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like something like this, please like, subscribe, click on the notification bell, and I'll see you again in another video. I've talked a lot, and until then, bye for now. See you. I love you.